Good morning, world. I feel like I barely gave myself a chance to wake up this morning. I just woke up and I had this idea come to mind. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go talk about it because it's super alive and I'm kind of excited about it. I'm also holding a cup of coffee that has lots of foam on it, and that makes me really happy. Let me take a sip. I would love to have the mustache right now. I'm sorry if you hear the dogs bark in the background. I'm currently living with a small Yorkie, and he's kind of like a Chihuahua, a Chorkie, and another Chihuahua. And this morning they're super excited. One of them has been sick for like 5 days, maybe just three. And he was sleeping a lot, and now he's good. So yeah, he's full of energy and this morning, he's been barking at everything. Apparently, he was seeing a light reflected somewhere, so he was just barking at that. Talking about reflection of the light, if you're tuning in with a video, just observe how interesting it is that you see the reflection of the window on my forehead. So I'm not sure how this actually is working because it's obviously not reflecting on my skin, it's on the laptop screen. So I wonder, do you see it or I just see it on the laptop screen? I'm unsure. I'm unsure if this is being actually caught on camera or if I just see it from my perspective here. Huh. I guess I'll find out if I rewatch the recording. It's fascinating. Okay. Wow. Good morning, good evening. Hello. Um, Thanks for tuning in. Hmm. Sometimes I think about giving up coffee to give my nervous system a break, but then I'm like, coffee. So I have coffee again. I'm sure you guys relate with that. Coffee. I never thought that it was something that was like revving me up. To me, it's more of a relaxing thing, but my nervous system is definitely a lot more sensitive now than it used to be. But I take a lot of stuff to calm my nervous system down as well, like ashwagandha is an adaptogen that is really good for the nervous system. I also take um, reishi capsules or different types of medicinal mushrooms that are also very good for just balancing the nervous system, just bringing equilibrium inside the body. So I'm gonna have ashwagandha later, but this morning, coffee with foam. It's not just bubbly milk, by the way. The oat milk did the bubbly milk, and the almond milk seems to be doing actual foam. So that's nice. Okay. Well, first, this morning, what I was really excited about doing is starting to paint. So I don't want to postpone on that too much because I've been liking getting up in the morning and doing something that makes me happy. And it's something that I practice also when I wake up in the morning. I'm like trying to tune in, like, okay, what does this day have to offer me? What can I do with today that gets me excited about getting up in the morning and just creating joy and happiness for myself. So that's definitely a question I ask myself. And what I notice is that the way I go to bed the night before definitely affects how I wake up in the morning. So I try and go to bed feeling a little more lucid, aka not stoned as fuck. And that way I can kind of prime myself for the next morning, like go to bed acknowledging the things that made me feel good during the day and being grateful for everything, but just kind of thinking about the things I'm grateful for and thinking about what kind of exciting thing might be coming up for the next day. So I play with my imagination a lot. And well, I was gonna say that with my imagination, I keep my energetic field quite sovereign in the sense that the things I imagine, they are not so attached to other people or outcomes. They're really just like for play and for fun, and there's no kind of attachment like, but that's just on a very personal level, and maybe it's just where I'm at in my life right now. But I'm kind of conscious about that when I play with imagination, that I'm not attaching chords to other people, because the example that comes to mind is like, let's say somebody has a crush on somebody and they start playing with their imagination and picturing all sorts of things with that person. Well, we may also be attaching chords to that person, like an energetical cord. Picture like the umbilical cord that connects the child to their mother. Well, just the same way, I'm pointing to my sacral chakra right now, but the laptop is positioned on a toolkit, and it's a little too high for me to show my belly button. But right around the navel area is the sacral chakra, and above that, sorry, above the navel is the solar plexus. And I'm pretty sure that's the one that correlates with attachments to other people. I know that solar plexus, which is just like just above the navel, is related with our power center, confidence. It's like the sun. And then under the navel is the sacral chakra, which brings things into creation. It's the womb area for women. And maybe that's the one that goes with attachment. I'm really not sure, but let's just keep it to the belly button, because I feel like in my mind that's simpler. Belly button, umbilical cord, attachments. So when I'm playing with imagination, I try not to attach myself to other people. I'm just doing my own thing. So that's a little side note when we're playing with the um, maybe astral realms. In a sense, the imagination, because, okay, one thing that I was, a family member mentioned to me yesterday that they tried to listen to one of my podcasts, and they were getting kind of lost. And I realized that not everybody is aware of the energy fields around us and how um, what is the science of energetics. So I'm gonna try and keep that in mind. Although I had a sense that the people who would tune in to the podcast would maybe already have a feel of what this is like, because I think that a lot of it is very intuitive and innate to our nature, in the sense that if you talk to children or look at them or remember what it was like growing up, all these things were just like encoded within us already. But to actually speak of this science and correlate it with the frequencies and vibrations, and how we actually manifest things in the material realm, I understand that maybe not everybody has done that kind of research or has been diving into these topics so much. So I'm gonna try and be as clear as possible when it comes to that. So I was just talking about being sovereign in our energetic fields, and then what I wanted to talk about is how the imagination, the value of it, and how it's really bringing ideas from the fourth dimension in a way to the third dimension. So remember that right here, we're in the third dimension at a cross between space and time. And we kind of exist within this grid, but there's many other dimensions that are kind of within. They're all like juxtaposed, or they, it's not like they're elsewhere. It's all happening. It's just that from our point of view, according to my understanding, from our point of view, well, here obviously we're in the material realm where we see things in depth, width, and height. But in the astral realm, let's say when you're dreaming, you can see many things inside your mind, and they're not in the material form, but just like thoughts, they hold a frequency. So when we're talking about frequencies, okay, let's go there because I haven't really explained this. And if you know, well, you'll be able to see if I'm making any sense or if our understanding is correlating. So there's different types of frequencies. The highest frequencies are like bliss, ecstasy, joy, harmony, and they all of these have a different frequency. So the wavelengths, I think I've talked about this before. The wavelengths frequency is how often it comes back. So how often do you have the peak going up and down is your frequency in a wavelength. And the same goes with colors. For example, a rainbow, all the different colors of the rainbow have a different frequency. And when the light hits a raindrop, and in that sense, the drop of water acts as a prism and it goes through the raindrop, it separates in these different spectrums. So that way, let's say the frequency of the color blue creates one projection of the color, and then the frequency of the color purple creates another projection of the color, and that's why they're kind of all stacked up because they're not the same frequency. So going through the prism that is the water molecule, you get that projection on the outside. And just the same way, our body is made up of what, like 70% water, something like that. So we are those prisms as well, and we project frequencies. We integrate them through our environment, the music we listen to, that's frequencies, the food we eat. All the foods we eat have different levels of frequencies. So a lot of people are used to eating really dead food that has super low frequency. So if it comes out of a card box and it's been made in a industry and has no perishable date on it and doesn't quite look like something that comes from Earth, it is most likely a very low frequency. So it's not going to make us feel so vibrant and alive. But if you eat like fruits and things that are from Earth, they are a much higher frequency and they make us feel really good. But obviously our bodies all need different things depending on time, on weather, anything that kind of creates a balance within the body. So it's so unique to all of us. And yeah, so when it comes to using our imagination and bringing thoughts into material form, there's already the value found in, so let's not even go to like manifesting. Let's just stay behind a little bit because there's immense value in something before the actual manifestation of something. So when I'm talking about manifestation of something, I just mean like, let's say somebody dreams of a nice car and they start obsessing about that. Well, there's the value of really paying attention to our thoughts before starting to dream of that car, because what are our thoughts saying? That's where the frequency is. So that ties with the topic I wanted to speak about this morning that got me really excited, and it all relates to one question. One question. 2 words. What if? What if? What if I actually won that car just like that? What if the coffee I am drinking is actually a magical coffee that is going to make me feel so blissed out for the entire day? Yeah, I'm just going to take a sip. What if the ring I was wearing had superpowers? What if today was going to be just better than anything I could have imagined? What if my paintings were actual portals to other dimensions? What if I actually did that thing that I've been thinking about? What if I sent a message to that person who's been on my mind? What if I actually went and explored that place that is really calling me right now? What if I got that instrument that I've been wanting to learn how to play? What if I actually gave myself the chance to create something new and learn a new skill? What if I tried that new recipe? What if? What if? And the importance of what if is that when we ask this question, we are tapping into potential. And what is potential? Potential is that realm of infinite possibilities. People who have studied quantum physics talk of the realm of potentiality. And it all ties with, oh my God, do I go into this? We can keep quantum physics so simple because even if you study quantum physics, it's more questions than answers. Because I think it's like 99% of our realm of perception, what we see is empty space. It's that realm of potentiality. It's the infinite possibilities. So if we study quantum physics, I'm going to back up a little bit. Quantum, it just relates with the word quantic, quantity, meaning the smallest. So it's the atoms all around us. So if we study the little atoms around, we really have more questions than answers, because we know how an atom is made. We know there's the nucleus. We know the electron is moving around it. We know that there are energy exchanges between the atoms. And we know that everything is composed of them. But then there's all this empty space in between that is leaving us with big question marks. And then the other thing that is really like a fundamental 101 of quantum physics is just the observer effect, which is that particles, kind of another word for atom, picture those little circular particles that are all moving around in empty space. They are wave particles. So it ties in with the waves that I'm talking about, that all these little particles are vibrating. So it creates the vibration, okay? So this all ties in with what Nikola Tesla was talking about. With, if you want to understand the world, think of it in terms of vibration, frequencies, and energy. Energy is made up of all these atoms that have a different frequency of wavelength. So when the particles are moving in waves, something happens with the observer effect. So people who study quantum physics that actually spend time in lab have discovered that if you look at an atom, it stops moving. So it's no longer a wave, it becomes a particle. It's like set in stone, which is also a syndrome that I've been experiencing in my life a lot. Like I'll talk and like, let's say somebody's gonna open the door and walk in, I'm just gonna stop talking. I'm gonna be like, I have nothing else to say. I'm just gonna sip my coffee quietly. I'm done with this video. Yeah, see ya. So little moment of relating with atoms. Ah. So when it comes to our thoughts and playing with imagination and asking the question, what if, which is inviting us into the realm of potentiality where it's infinite possibilities and we don't know what is coming. And again, a lot of people already play with this. We always use our imagination. It's just that for the most part, we aren't conscious of how we're using our imagination. And a lot of us, have gotten very habituated to using the imagination to picture very bad scenarios, very stressful scenarios. And that makes total sense because if your nervous system is activated and is in a sympathetic state, so it's feeling nervous, your nervous system feels like triggered. And that's the state that a lot of people are in right now and have been in a long time with the ideas of capitalism and the super trending storyline that you can hear about on the news. It's gonna create a lot of activation in the nervous system, and through, well, we can talk about biofeedback because what's happening in the body is actually going to influence what's happening in your mind. So if you first get your mind to be in a calm state, you can definitely play with your imagination a lot better. It's the same thing that goes with kids learning in school or anybody learning at any age. If you're nervous, you're not so inclined to be learning very well. So it's definitely, there's a lot of value in taking a deep breath, relaxing. That's why I always try to create some comfort for myself before showing up online. It's why I have a coffee that makes me feel happy. That is also this Bliss coffee, let's remember. And it's my way of calming my nervous system down so that I can show up feeling good and relaxed and be able to channel ideas and thoughts that potentially bring me into a more expansive state, a place where I can actually tap into the realm of possibilities better, as opposed to staying in what I know and acting from if I'm nervous, well, my thoughts are going to be reflecting that as well. So maybe this is just like a side note on the major importance of taking care of our nervous system, and whatever it takes. Maybe it's a warm bath or a massage or spending time in the sun or shutting off the news if that hasn't been done already. Or reading something that makes you feel good and calm, drawing, listening to music, smoking a joint, whatever you need. Fuck, I'm not judging you. So the realm of possibilities and the question of what if, right? Inviting us into that realm. And this really changes our whole frequency, because if I am using my imagination to picture terrible scenarios coming up, I am sending off a much different frequency. So let's take the example of the car again. And this is, I hope, is going to be kind of clarifying for people who haven't heard so much of energy work. There's the law of attraction that's really popular, and that's just one law of the universe. The seven laws of the universe are really just expression of the one thing, which is mentalism. It all comes with the mind. And from there, you have different laws, such as the law of cause and effect, the law of rhythm, the law of correspondence. Correspondence ties in with the law of attraction because it's the simple concept of things matching together. You have one wavelength that goes a particular way, you have another that goes a particular way, and let's say they're the same, they correspond, they're matching, they're just going to match up, they're just going to go together. And you also see this type of pattern in relationships. Oftentimes we attract a relationship that is going to be matching our frequency. And often, well, that would be for a whole other conversation, but often the pattern that emerges is something that we have yet to integrate within ourselves. So because our beings are always working towards wholeness, towards feeling whole within ourselves. So again, just like atoms, because that's kind of what we are like atoms. There is one type of atom that is not dependent on any other types of atom. If you look at a periodic table in chemistry, this is science. Science and spirituality, by the way, are one and the same thing. They're exactly the same thing. It's just that one is explained with concepts and categories and words. And then when we're talking about spirituality, we often think more like ethereal, etheric, like it's up in space, head in a cloud, and it's all this like the term woo-woo that people use. But it's really one and the same. And when we're talking about relationships, the idea is for us to become wholesome. So we often attract through the law of correspondence a partner that is going to reflect an aspect of us that has yet to be integrated so that we can become whole. And then looking at the periodic table, you have the noble gases. Noble gases, such as, I think, nitrate might be one. I would have to look that up. I'm not sure anymore which ones, but there's a few that are totally non-reactive to others. And I think that's the ultimate goal. Like we don't want to be reacting. We want to be responding to the things around us. So it ties in with when I'm talking about, if I use my imagination, I want to stay sovereign in my energetic field. That means that I'm not tying cords to people around. I'm not creating attachments, and I want to depend on myself. I want to be, it's a bit paradoxical because I also realize that we are in a network and that I also crave connection in a big sense, because it's not why I do these videos, but I definitely long for connection, and I feel a big sense of purpose related to connection. That's all I know. But I see my laptop is really low battery, so I'm going to try and wrap up this idea around the thoughts we emit. If I want that car and all I'm thinking is, oh, I wish I had that car, I wish I had that car, but I don't fucking have it. This is a type of frequency that is coming from a place of lack, saying, I don't have that car. So if I wish for it, I'm saying I don't have it. I'm going to repeat that. If I wish for it, I'm saying through my frequencies, I don't have it. And so through the law of correspondence, it's not going to come to me. I don't have it. But if I give thanks for something by generating feelings within myself, it doesn't matter what creates the feeling. It could be watching videos of kittens online. If that makes me happy, makes me feel really grateful and blissful and joyful within myself, whatever it takes to create happiness within ourselves. It's a science experiment. Just got to test things out. What if? Try things. Follow your curiosity. Just try something to make you feel better. And a little side note, careful with instant gratification versus delayed gratification. We're kind of trying for the delayed gratification or something that makes us feel good also in the long run. We don't want to create feelings of guilt for ourselves through instant comforts. A little side note. So, whatever it takes to create good feelings within ourselves so that we can live in gratitude is going to be attracting what we desire just by embodying a state of, yes, thank you, I am grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Connecting with the breath is probably the easiest way. We're breathing. I'm on my tippy toes right now because the laptop felt high or I got excited. I'm unsure. But on this note, I think it's been I didn't expect to give this crash course, but I hope that you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. I hope it was useful or whatever it was for you. I hope that it brought nice feelings to you and that you can cultivate some gratitude today and ask yourself the question, what if, and use it for good scenarios. What if this actually worked out? What if everything I dream of is actually coming to me effortlessly? Wow. What if what is coming for me was just even better than what I could have ever imagined? What if this moment was absolutely perfect? What if this right now is the best case scenario? What if the chances that I'm going to take were leading me to everything I dream of? Let's just play with our imagination. Anyway, that's your invitation today. I am sending you much love. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Until next time, stay dope.